Hello there. We are live. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Mitch Goldberg. You are watching a live episode of Be the Boss of Your Money because I want you to be the boss of your money, not your money to be the boss of you. Be the boss of your money. This is the place you go to for massive knowledge, education, perspective about investing, personal finance, and business. Today's topic of the day is Congress is at least now getting very serious about extending the federal unemployment benefits and more stimulus. Experts agree if we don't get more stimulus, then we really are going to feel like we're in a deep recession, not just be in one statistically. So, having said all that, let's go on with the intro, and we are going to make this short and sweet. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Mitch Goldberg. I'm a financial advisor with the wealth management firm Client First Strategy. So what we have here today is an overall pretty decent day. We have the main value add today is we're going to talk a little bit about stimulus, why it's so important to get more. And I know there are a lot of people who are against it, but we're just going to get into that. I'm going to give it to you straight of why, even if you disagree with it, of why it'll actually be good for everyone. So we're going to talk about that, and it's just a basic ho-hum day, and I actually like a good basic ho-hum day. So let's just share the screen real quick. And we're going to get into this, and I'm going to tell you what the deal is, okay? So you see this? We have the Dow up 165, S&P up 18 points, NASDAQ up a little bit, up 25 points. Even the small cap, we're barely up a little over 2 points. The VIX continues to stay under 25. I'll put this together for you, okay? Industrials are doing just fine. Things are holding up really well. The market got a late day boost when it was announced that the GOP, the Senate, said they're willing to extend federal unemployment benefits. That's that extra above and beyond unemployment benefit that people are collecting, that 30 million Americans are collecting right now, above and beyond the $600, what they're doing now. So above and beyond, I should say, state unemployment benefits. So, but they're talking about a $400 per week extension instead of the $600 a week that we have now. A lot of people would be disappointed with that. Obviously, people collecting unemployment benefits will be disappointed, but the Democrats are definitely going to be disappointed by that. But the Senate Republicans don't want to keep doling out money, and they look at $600 a week as a something that deters people from actually going back to the workforce, because about 2/3 of the people or more who are collecting that bonus of $600 per month for unemployment benefits, it was more than they were. 2/3 of the people collecting it. It was more than they were more than they were earning from their job. So they feel they need to correct that. So let's just take a quick look. Things were up. The VIX, that's the fear gauge. I was talking, if you want a viewer of the show, that we need to see it stay under 30, and now we need to see it stay under 25. The 30 no longer matters. Once we get used to a new level, the VIX, that's the VIX, the red, that typically goes down when stocks go up. That's a good thing. If you notice, the VIX is down 2%, while the S&P was only up about 0.5%. The VIX usually moves in an exaggerated way, and what it is it's a sign that professional traders and money managers are using hedges. They're hedging their position. So if you see the VIX go down, they're paying a little bit less to hedge, and there's a little bit less worry in the market. And since there's trillions of dollars sloshing around in cash in accounts with institutional funds and hedge funds and retail investors alike, maybe more of that money will find its way into the market. Okay. I want to show you just a real quick thing here for the aftermarket. Tesla did come out with earnings. The street's very happy with that. Stock is up $112 aftermarket, up 7%. The high on Tesla, the year high, I think, is about 1,780. 1785. So it's not quite at the new high, but still that stock is just just continues. Okay, 1794. It's right over here. Okay, so 1794.99. But one heck of a move after market trading. Microsoft is off about 2.5%. Their revenues are pretty good. 13% growth in revenues this over last year in spite of coronavirus. They did shut down their retail stores, and they said that hurts earnings a little bit. And Chipotle letting out a little gas after market. Sorry, couldn't help myself. So Chipotle, down $10, but it was up $22 in the regular session. So down 10 points after market. No big deal. But those are the three big earnings announcements after market. Let's take a look at the FANG stocks. When I say FANG, Facebook off a tad, but Apple was up a lot higher during the day. They got a big upgrade today, but it's hard, to look at these stocks. Well, it's hard to buy them when they've been up so much just this year alone, in spite of everything going on. Amazon off about 1%, off about $40. I really need, to me, in my mind, we need to see Amazon hold that $3,000 number. $3,099. It's really not that far away. We need a little more insurance in that number, so we've got to get that stock a little higher, right? Netflix is off a touch. Google had an okay day. Microsoft was good in the regular session, but overall more good than bad from this large cohort of stocks that helped the market move up a little bit. And then we're going to take a look at my favorite dashboard. Okay, every day throughout the day I look at this. This is the 11 sectors of the U.S. economy, stock sectors, as measured by the main ETFs, the spiders, S&P Depository Receipt spiders from State Street. Utilities were the winner today, and the bombers was energy and financials. Not so great. Industrials had an okay day, but you really need to see financials do something. Listen, yesterday, financials, energy, and industrials had a really good day. So the fact that they held up okay today, no one is going to complain about that. Last thing, we'll take a look at some of the market movers today. Just take a quick gander. Meant to have the screen punched up before I got started, but HCA Holdings, Advanced Micro, Best Buy, pretty eclectic group of stocks are up. Some healthcare, some defense, Lockheed Martin. That's a big one in the client first strategy, aggressive accounts. Top decliners, Goldman Sachs off a little bit. First Energy continues to get pummeled. All right, just an eclectic group of stocks. Royal Caribbean off a little, Morgan Stanley off a little, just a mix. But other than this FE, the First Energy, no real super disasters. So we really don't have much to complain about. One of the things that I've been saying for a while now, though, is that I would like to see some more ho-hum, quiet, boring days, because when we were going through these up down 500,000 2,000 point days, that they're followed with more volatility. If the market's up 1,000, the next day it'll probably be down close to 1,000. And what I was hoping for would be some nice quiet days where we could build on a real rally. I don't want to see the Dow or the S&P go up 4 or 5% in a day. I know that sounds weird. Like, don't you want to see it go up? Of course. But I don't want to have it go up 3 or 4%, down 3 or 4%, back and forth. The volatility only makes people go on the sidelines. It scares people. It's tough to really get a handle on what's going on. We have a tendency to focus in the stock market rather than our personal finance activities, which yesterday's episode was all about. Personal finance activities, things you could control. We can't control the stock market. We can't control Congress. We can't control the economy. I know we vote in elections, but I don't think it means a whole hell of a lot. By the way, if you're watching this in the live stream, thank you very much. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments. Words of wisdom and encouragement are always appreciated. If you're watching this in the replay, welcome to you as well. I'd love to receive your questions, and go ahead, ask away in the comments as if you were watching in the live, and I will definitely notice those. I'll see those. Okay, so let's just talk about stimulus real quick. So the big stimulus, the CARES Act, a lot of it is going away this coming weekend. So while I do this, it's Wednesday, July 22nd. All right. So it's July 22nd. So we've got a couple of things that we need to understand what's going away. So part of the CARES Act is that because of the government-induced shutdowns, state-induced shutdowns, the federal government decided to give every person who becomes unemployed, not only will they get their state benefits, but the government, the central government, federal government will give you $600 a week as well. So it turned out a lot of people were actually making more money on unemployment than they were with their job. And that has kept consumer spending going. Other than the dip we had in March and April, things recovered pretty quickly in May and June. And we had a big jump about a month ago in retail sales. And so, that's kept the economy going. People have had money to shop and to do whatever they need to do. And it's been a huge help. There are 30 million people who are collecting this benefit. Our unemployment rate is a little over 11% nationally. We'll see how it changes, or if it changes. I expect it will, because of the resurgence in COVID-19 all over the country, in particular California, Texas, and Georgia. Those are very big economies, big populations. So we'll see if the unemployment rate rises. I would expect it would, though. Okay. So the CARES Act was about $2 trillion, and it did a few other things. You don't have to take a minimum distribution from your IRA this year if you don't want to. If you're just turning 70 and a half this year, you could now wait till you're 72 to take required minimum distributions. It did a couple of other things, and we also had the PPP Act also we need to talk about, but that gave every business like 2.5 months worth of income that needed it, and it's a loan unless you apply to have that loan forgiven. I suspect, and everybody pretty much does, this is what's being talked about in Congress and the government. It's that'll pretty much be forgiven for almost everybody. But there's talk of maybe even another PPP loan, and there's talk of that we need to extend current benefits. So here's the deal. Most experts agree that if we don't extend the federal, not the state, the federal unemployment benefit, that it would be an absolute disaster for the overall economy. Now, even though we went into a deep recession, very deep recession, most people still had money coming in, even those who were unemployed, even 1099 employees and people who were driving, Uber, etc. They got money. They got unemployment, this unemployment benefit also. So everybody still had money to spend. So it's really kept the economy afloat. In fact, the benefits were so high that when a lot of employers who got PPP loans had to call their employees back to work, a lot of these employees were upset because they didn't want to go back to making less money. They were making more staying at home with the unemployment benefit. But be that as it may, what Congress is doing now, what the Senate is suggesting, is extending the federal unemployment benefit through the rest of this year, through December, at $400 a week. The market rallied on that, partly because at least we'll get something. Some people will say that it's because, the government's not spending as much money. We don't want to spend too much money. I actually don't think it matters anymore how much we spend, as long as we pay the interest. That's a story for another day. We already did a whole live episode on that. And if you want more information on that, what that means, you're certainly welcome to reach out to me, and I'll share with you my previous content about that. Okay, so the Senate wants a $1 trillion package extension, and the House wants the $3 trillion HEROES Act. Before the House passed the $3 trillion HEROES Act, it would have been better to get together with the Senate and see what everybody could do, because maybe if they just agreed on a $1.5 trillion package, meet in the middle, and they could have agreed on a lot of this stuff and been passing legislation now, writing legislation, instead of everybody yelling at everybody else for waiting to the last minute. Congress has had a couple of months to get something on the table, to extend benefits. and they let the time go by, and things always come down to a crisis to get anything done in Congress, and it's a real shame. But you guys in Congress have to stop coming up with this legislation that's really more about making the other side look bad, for looking like misers or for looking like spendthrifts. You should really get together first and decide what everybody could agree on, and then craft your legislation, and then come out with legislation that is actually workable. That would be a lot better. So that's the deal. As soon as the Senate said they're willing to extend the benefits, though, it just tells you that at least something is going on, that Congress is working on it, and that's when the major averages moved up to their highs of the day. So that's really about it. If we can continue with stimulus, it doesn't have to be the $600 a week, but at $400, $500, that would be enough to keep consumers spending, and it would be enough to keep going to Walmart, Target, and Costco for people. So it's not so much money that it hurts to stay-at-home, work-from-home stocks, but it's enough money to keep things going. So basically, it's just more of the same. And if you're in the major averages, either through index fund ETFs or mutual funds, things aren't so bad. I can't say that if you're in individual stocks. It really depends on the makeup of your portfolio. That is about it. I'm going to end this broadcast. Thank you so much. If you have any questions for me, ask away, and I'll speak to you tomorrow. Thanks.